Something that happens quite a lot when you've got a candidate that's considering more than one job opportunity, all of which, or both of which, all of which they may be quite interested in, is as you get to the sharp end, the pointy end, where companies are looking for reassurance that that candidate really, really wants their job. You can get this situation where the candidate's kind of decided which one he or she is most interested in. They've kind of done all the assessing over maybe days and weeks and numbers of interviews, and they sort of know that it's job A is the one they're really excited about. B and C they certainly are still keen on and interested in, but A is the one they really, really want. The problem, of course, is that if you don't handle things correctly, both as a candidate and to some extent as a recruiter that's representing that candidate, is that you allow that to become too obvious and too known. As soon as companies B and C realise or sense or deduce that they are no longer the preference, there is a very real risk that the humans involved at those companies decide for themselves that that means they're no longer interested. Now that may seem a bit harsh and it may seem as if it's not really about logic and business, but the reality of course is that human beings are involved at both ends of this. Human beings as candidates will make decisions often based around emotion and how they feel, and that's fine. Companies will do exactly the same. Hiring managers will do exactly the same. If they get the sense that someone is a bit lukewarm on them, and they probably weren't before, they were really kind of keen, but if suddenly it's quite hard to get them to say anything that's very committing, or if it's hard to get them to provide feedback on how they're feeling, or if they're not responding about an offer or some part of the process that they're suddenly dragging their feet around, the reality is that the company knows what's going on. And once they know, their own emotions, their own feelings will get involved. And to some extent, yes, the ego can come into play as well. People don't want to be second choice or be made to feel like they're second choice. So candidates, it's really important that whatever's going on in your own mind, and yes, whatever you're sharing with someone like me as a recruiter, and it's good that you do share that and we do know where we stand, the risk is, or the issue is, you have to make sure that all of the job opportunities you're pursuing, that the companies involved all need to still feel all the way through that they are the one you want. Don't go lukewarm on them. If you do, you are highly likely to not even get the job offer. Happened very recently to a candidate of mine. Job was pretty much in the bag. He really wanted it. Something else changed externally. He was still keen, but not quite as mad keen as he had been. And unfortunately, his behaviour and his demeanour was just too obvious that that was the case. And just whilst he was still kind of umming and ahhing and would still have taken the job if it had been offered, the company went, you know what, stuff you. You're not that keen. We're they didn't use that language, of course, but that's essentially what was happening. They felt, I guess, they felt let down. They felt they were no longer as important as they were, and so they pulled the pin. They made a decision that he's not for us, and that's it, all off. So whatever you're thinking about internally, guys, please don't allow anyone to feel that you've gone lukewarm. Keep them on the boil until such time as you either have an offer that you're accepting or that you have another offer which you're accepting instead, and we can then let that one go. I hope that makes sense. It is a delicate, difficult human area. Cheers.